Yeah, and, you know, we've talked about it like a broken record. You know, we go over to Glenwood, and there's no scoring. And the Railers got back on track last night. We have a little home cooking. And we'll see how they do back-to-back nights on the road here in Morton. And I don't know, it's a little dark in here. I don't know if that affects shooting, your perspective on the hoop. But I guess it could. But we're about to find out here in about 7 minutes, so hopefully the Railers come out and are ready to play tonight.
3 Railers in double figures last night, several with 9, so it was a good scoring night for the Railers. We hope it continues here on the last game of the week after a 3-game Tuesday, Thursday, and now Friday here in Morton. That's going to wrap it up for us here on the pregame show. After word from our sponsors, Scott and I will be back here in Morton to bring you the play-by-play action as the Railers take on the Potters. As always, a big thank you goes out to all our sponsors. This has been the Josh Comnick, Grau Incorporated, and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Good evening, Railer Nation, and welcome to Lincoln Railer Basketball. WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNSports.com are pleased to bring you this evening's contest from Morton, Illinois, on the campus of Morton High School as the Lincoln Railers take on the Potters from Morton High School. Good evening, everyone. This is Scott Kirby alongside Josh Comnick, and we are ready to bring you all of tonight's action here in Morton, Illinois. We'd like to wish a good evening to all of our listeners around the world listening via 96.3 FM on WLCNSports.com, on the Mixler app, or watching the live stream on YouTube. So turn that volume up and get ready for some Lincoln Railer basketball. The Railers come in tonight's action 16-2, while the Potters have a record of 12-9. A little short in pregame, Josh, tonight, so you know, we're kind of trying to squeeze everything in here. We got 3 minutes to go.
Oh, they only gave us 15 to warm up.
They gave us 15 to warm up, and
normally 20.
Our equipment manager was a little late tonight, so equipment didn't get here in time. But we got her all set up now and ready to go here in Morton, Illinois, and see if the Raiders can keep the buckets a coming and pick up another dub tonight.
Yeah,
here.
Been nice. Of course, the Railers fell 6 days ago off a couple of big wins. Railers victorious on Tuesday over in Chatham-Glenwood, 35-25, and then took care of another Mid-Illini opponent last night at home against Washington, victorious 70-42, as we talked about, probably the best shooting night for the Railers so far on the season as far as three-pointers go. The Railers 13 of 25 last night. Singleton with 4. I think Whiteman had a couple. Hollinger with a couple from the corner. So nice night for the Railers. Look to hopefully keep that going here on the road. Usually a sign of a good shooting team is when they're shooting well, is when they can shoot it well on the road. And we'll find out that tonight.
1:40 to go on the clock as the Railers continue to warm up, as well as the Potters from Morton, Illinois. I'd like to welcome everybody in tonight's broadcast. We got Lloyd Kirby on the stream. Railers get a break tomorrow, Josh. As you know, we talked about it early, a couple of weeks ago, how this is a very important stretch for the Railers with all these games in a short matter of time. And so far, so good. Just the overtime loss up in Rock Island. But Rock Island, a ranked team in the state, so a tough loss, yeah, but, it's competition that the Railers need to see.
Yeah, you're right. And 3 good games this week, although the lopsided score last night probably wasn't anticipated as much as it was, but the Railers shot it really well. And, the Railers bounced back after Rock Island and took care of Chatham on the road, which was a big victory. Chatham up in the top of the Central State 8. So, again, the Railers look to go a perfect 3-0 this week, and we'll have to do it here from Morton, Illinois.
Railers go to the locker room as time winds down here on the clock, as we get ready for the matchup between the Lincoln Rail Splitters and the Morton Potters here in Potter Dome.
Yeah, the Railers 17-2 now, Scott. So
17. I said 16.
16. Did
I not mark it up last night?
I don't think you chalked it up already. But 17-2 on the win on the year, I believe.
Well,
maybe you're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
You're probably right.
17-16. As long as we got the losses right. All right. That's all we're necessarily worried about.
All right. Well, let's go to a commercial break as we get set for the playing of our national anthem. When we come back, we'll have starting lineups in the opening tip here in Morton, Illinois, Potter Dome, as the Railers take on the Potters. We'll be back after these messages. This is Lincoln Railer Basketball, WLCN 96.3 FM.
Would everyone please rise, face the flag. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. For the playing of our national anthem, performing the Star-Spangled Banner tonight is the Morton High School Pep Band under the direction of Mr. Tim Gray.
Here from Morton, Illinois, getting set for the starting lineups between the Potters and the Lincoln Railers. Little game ball given out to a family for the Letty Brown Miracle family, the Bradford family.
In the neonatal intensive care unit at OSF Children's Hospital of Illinois. She has also had skull surgery and heart procedures performed at the Children's Hospital. You can read more about the Bradford family's.
Sounds like they have had a daughter with some health scares with issues, but she's out there accepting the game ball. A lot of the Morton fans wearing T-shirts honoring Miss Ella Rose Bradford.
Unit School District 709. We proudly welcome you to the Potter Dome.
Of course, the
Morton High School.
Morton Potters, members of the Mid-Illini Conference. Canton, Dunlap, East Peoria, Limestone, Metamora, Morton, Pekin, and Washington make up the Mid-Illini Conference. Starting lineups first for head coach Neil Alexander's Railers. 6'3" and a senior, the first man out. Number 1 is Ewald. Will Ewald.
6 foot senior, number 2, Cameron.
6 foot and a senior, number 2 is Whiteman. Cameron Whiteman.
5'10" junior, number 3, Dylan.
5'10" and a junior, number 3, Singleton. Dylan Singleton.
3 senior, number 5, Hayden Froby.
Froby's the next man out. 6'3" and a senior, number 5 is Froby. Caden Froby. And 6'4" and a junior, number 4 is Hollinger. Landon Hollinger. Now the starting lineup for the Potters from Morton, Illinois, come into the contest at a record of 12-9 on the season. Morton High School with an enrollment of 1,000 students. Their colors are gray and red and white. First man out for head coach Matt Franks is a 6-foot sophomore. Where's the number 3? Bo Durbin. 5'10" and a senior, number 10 is Ollie Steffen. That one guard, 6'5", and a senior, number 25, Bryce Brown. 6'2" and a senior, number 32 is Grant Gudeman. And one forward, a junior, number 11, Josiah Getz.
Tonight's tip-off is brought to you by Jim Examus Ford Lincoln. You won't believe all the exciting pre-loved vehicles on the lot at Jim Examus Ford Lincoln on Lincoln's West Side. Choose from quality pre-owned vehicles that have been put through a 172-point award-winning service inspection. There's no better time than now to put yourself behind the wheel of a quality pre-owned vehicle. Give Brad Centers or Sam Smedley at Jim Examus on Lincoln's West Side a call at 217-732-2111 and let them put you in a new ride. Set the tip here at the Potter Dome as Hollinger and Getz.
Yeah, Froby steals the tip.
Froby steals the tip. There's a 3 right from the get-go from Whiteman. No good. Rebound, Potters.
Yeah, we talked a little bit after the game last night about quick shots, and Coach was just a little irritated about that. And a quick one to start the game, although a walk-up 3 for Whiteman right at the top of the key. Not a bad shot to start the game. Just couldn't get it to go down.
No score, game just underway. Potters have the basketball. Now they'll get it inside to number 25. That is Brown. He left it short. Raiders with the rebound.
Potters will open up in man-to-man here against the Railers.
Ewald dribbles, now lays it up. Was a bad angle at the hoop, but
thought he had a chance to kick it right into Singleton.
Yeah.
Singleton wide open in the lane, and Will tried to shoot it around the bankboard and just didn't work.
Durbin's going to be fouled by Ewald, his first, team first.
Lincoln foul on Will Ewald, his first. And the first.
No score. 1 minute has gone by here in Morton.
The Railers probably a little bit bigger team. Turnover by Morton as they couldn't handle the pass. But, yeah, really the biggest guy, Goodman, 6'2". They've got Bryce Brown at 6'5". Not quite sure he's 6'5". Right at the about, looks like Hollinger's a little taller than him. Maybe Getz is 6'5". He's matched up against Hollinger underneath.
Still no score. There's a alley-oop to Singleton. And it's going to be out of bounds off of Getz and the Potters as
try to go for the alley-oop.
Yeah,
try to go for the alley-oop to Singleton. Just couldn't get that one to go.
Whiteman inbound on Lincoln's baseline. Now they'll get it outside, I should say, to Ewald. Now to Froby, hands off to Hollinger. Now Ewald up and no good. Got to the lane, couldn't finish. Potters with the rebound. They pushed it up the court in a hurry.
Boy, Singleton with a little slip screen on the out-of-bounds play and was wide open. Whiteman just couldn't see him.
Steffen, he'll get to the lane. Tapped out of there, now gets it back. Kicks it in the corner, nothing there. That's Durbin with it, guarded by Froby. He'll pull it back up top.
See the Raider pressure way up on the guards from Morton. Coach Alexander must have said early.
And they're going to get Hollinger with the reach-around foul as the Potters get it inside to Brown. That's Hollinger's first, team second. No score, 6:13 to go in the first. Goodman gets it in to Steffen. Now up top to Durbin, back to Steffen.
Railers moving well on defense. Really outside trying to pressure the guards for Morton. Probably a point of emphasis for Coach Alexander to pressure their guards.
So get it down low. Tapped out of there by Singleton. Now gets it to Hollinger. And it's going to be out of bounds off of Morton. Going to stay with the Railers. Tried to get the quick outlet pass, and there's a defender right there, and luckily it went off him and staying with the Railers.
Railers a little out of sync so far on offense. Got a couple shots, just haven't been able to go. Look for the Railers here to get a good set going.
Hand off to Froby. He'll dribble right, now to Whiteman. Now Whiteman gets to the lane. He's met there. No foul. A little bit of a contact. No foul call. Still no score. Durbin gets it across. Now they'll reset up top to Steffen. Back to Durbin. Durbin dribbles left. Hands it to Steffen. He'll go right. Now to Goodman. Down low to Getz. Getz with the easy layup. A little too strong. And they're going to get Whiteman with a foul.
Yeah, already 3 team fouls on the Railers. Almost every possession that Morton has gotten so far, it's been a foul on the Railers. Nothing has hurt them on the scoreboard yet, but you start racking up the fouls here early in the first quarter and send Morton to the bonus pretty early.
Railers not real deep off the bench either,
good
Josh.
point.
We go to about 6 deep, can go 7, but going to have to be really careful.
And really, right now, it's been underneath a little bit of lazy fouls. Ewald got one on trying to pressure a little bit, but the other two have been just reaching fouls, and Railers back guys got to move as well.
Getz makes 1 out of 2 free throws, 1-0. 5:13 to go in the first. Railers with the basketball. Singleton gets it to Whiteman. Whiteman hands off to Froby. Nothing there. Now they'll work it around to the left. There's Froby. He's going to get to the lane, and he's going to be fouled before he gets there. Fouls on number 32.
Yeah, I don't think Goodman can stay with Froby. Too quick. Froby's too quick. I'm going to see a little more isolation with Froby to try and take Goodman to the basket and maybe pick up another foul on him.
Froby all the way up top to Ewald. Now to Singleton. Singleton dribbles left. Little bump there from Durbin. Singleton's fouled. Potters pick up their second team foul. Durbin his first.
Yeah, so 2 quick ones on the Potters. This could be a foul fest and a free throw fest coming down even in the first half here.
And they are fouls. They're contact fouls.
And on the Railers too, I think. Referees have done a good job so far here.
Railers with the basketball, still looking to get on that scoreboard. 1-0 Potters. Ooh, there's a moving screen by Whiteman. Whiteman picks up his first second. Whiteman just picked up his second.
Yeah, I think the reaction maybe to Goodman was a little bit more than what it was. I didn't think Whiteman was moving by any means. I mean, Goodman probably outweighs Whiteman by 40 pounds. I don't know that he's going to.
Well, that second foul brings Tungate off the bench for Whiteman, and that may be the last you see of Whiteman the first half. 1-0 here at Potterdome. Almost halfway through the first. A scoring struggle so far tonight. Potters with the basketball. They'll work it around. Gudeman now to Steffen. Guarded by Tungate. Gives it to Durbin. A little kick off of Hollinger. It's going to stay with the Potters. 4:02 to go in the first. Gudeman inbound on the sideline. Gets it in to Steffen. Steffen dribbles right now, gives it to Durbin in the corner to Gudeman. Down low to Brown. Up and good for the Potters. And they have a 3-0 advantage with 3:49 to go in the first.
Yeah, Hollinger unable to get around the post there, and easy pass into Brown. Brown had to, and really I don't think Hollinger can really play a lot of defense too. He's got 2 fouls.
Tungate, now they'll work it around. Hollinger to Singleton. Singleton kicks it out to Ewald. Ewald takes a 3 in for Ewald, and that's a Chris Coyne. State Farm 3-pointer.
Big basket there for the Railers. Nice give and go, or nice handoffs by the Railers as they always do, and Ewald ready to fire when he got it.
All tied up at 3. Potters kick it across. And that's Steffen answers with a 3 of his own. 6-3 Potters, 2:58 to go in the first. Singleton gets it across the timeline. Now they'll work it. Roby up top. Now Ewald in the corner to Hollinger. He'll drive on the baseline with a little shove from Getz. Getz picks up his first. Team third for the Potters.
Three on the Potters, 4 on the Railers so far here as some substitutions come in for Morton.
Riley Richards, number 13, and number 23, Ashton Everding checks in for the Potters. 6-3 Potters, 2:40 to go in the first. Froby, he'll get to the bucket, up with the left, and good for Froby.
Yeah, goes right, finishes left. A lot of times you'll see Froby doing that, and he was able to get right to the rim and basically finger roll it right over the side of the rim on that one. Good drive by Froby, a big basket for the Railers.
6-5, Potters with the lead, 2:24 to go. Potters with the basketball. Steffen over. Now back to Steffen. Now they'll work it around. That's Durbin. Gets it down low to Brown. Brown swatted out of there by Hollinger.
Yeah, Hollinger's got to be careful, Scott. He's got 1 already, I believe.
Yeah, 1 foul for Hollinger.
Whiteman already to the bench with 2.
Now the Raiders with the basketball, down by 1. Froby kicks it out to Tungate. Nothing there. Now Singleton up top. They'll work it to the right. Ewald. Now back up top to Singleton, over to Tungate, now Froby. Froby dribbles right, hands off to Ewald. Ewald, little one-handed, up and good for Ewald.
Oh, I never brought the right hand to it, did he?
He was about 5 foot from the basket.
What was the old,
laid it up with the
old
left.
NBA star that used to do that? The Iceman, one-handed, and never brought it right over, and big time layup.
7-6 Railers as Brown gets into the paint. He'll bank it off the backboard. And good for Brown. Brown's got 4 points, 8-7. Potters with the lead again. 1:20 to go in the first quarter. There's a foul by Brown as Singleton went to get the basketball. Brown went through him to get it. That is Brown's first, team fourth. So both teams with 4 fouls in the first.
Railers will inbound here. Singleton bringing it up. Yet a shot attempt for Hollinger yet tonight.
Hollinger dribbles left, guarded by Richards. Now he'll spin, kicks it out to Ewald. Now to Singleton for a 3. Blocked by Getz, but gets it back. Singleton, that is. Now Froby will take a 3 on the wing. Rebounded by Singleton. Now they'll work it around. Tungate. Back up top to Ewald to Froby. Froby will dribble in, kick it out to Ewald. Nothing there. Now he'll get to the lane. He'll pull for the jumper, and good. and they're going to call a charge on Ewald, and that's a horrible call.
Might have been a charge. It was about 3 seconds too late.
So wave off the bucket. Good move by Ewald, but a charge called, so no basket. 45 seconds to go in the first, 8-7. Potters with the lead, almost a steal by Ewald. Now Getz, he'll kick it out up top to Gudeman. Now to Everding, over to Durbin. Durbin guarded by Singleton, 27 on the clock. He'll go right, give it to Gudeman. Down low to Getz. He'll spin right, up and good for Getz off the backboard. 10-7, Morton with 18 to go.
That's what they're doing, Scott. They're running that baseline too and then kicking it down to the post. And right now the Railers have got to get around that post. They're getting it too easy, especially with Hollinger with 2 fouls.
4 seconds. Singleton with 3, up. Swatted out of there by Getz. And there should be time on the clock as the clock didn't stop. But that's going to do it for the first. At the end of 1, it's the Railers 10, the Potters 7. We'll be back after these messages. This is Lincoln Railer Basketball on WLCN 96.3 FM. Potterdome as the Railers are down by 3 to start the second, and will be Potters basketball. Richards has it. Now over to Gudeman. Gudeman, the big boy, pulls up for a 3. No good. Richards there for the rebound. He'll go back up. No good. Hollinger grabs the rebound. And they're going to call a jump ball as Getz to get that jump ball. No foul call, but possession arrow goes to the Railers. All over Hollinger.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not a jump ball. It's a foul for sure. So they're letting him play tonight.
And we got a bucket by the Railers. What do we got here? We got a warning on Everding for the Potters, and who's on the Railers?
I think Proby. Proby was told Mr. Everdeen that you're not guarding me, and the referees kind of caught it.
Just making a statement.
Yeah, I'm just telling them the truth.
Yeah. Oh, there's a tap by Tungate. Up, off the backboard, and good for Tungate.
Nice job by Tungate. 2 fouls pretty much the whole game so far.
Potters with the basketball. Railers up by 1. 7 minutes to go in the second.
Oh, they're going to run that baseline, Scott, and try and get a screen underneath, and then a
tapped out of there by Froby.
Post up on the big guys underneath, especially when Brown and Getz get in there, and Brown is back in.
Potters with the basketball. There's a 3 on the way by Steffen, in and out, no good. Rebound, Hollinger rips it out of there. Gives it to Singleton. Railers up by 1 with the basketball. 6:30 to go in the first half. Ewald in the corner to Tungate. Tungate dribbles in, kicks it over to Hollinger in the corner for 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound comes to Durbin, and Tungate gets him on the foul as Durbin came down with the basketball.
Yeah, Seth still going for the rebounds underneath. Good look by Hollinger. Nice drive and kick by Tungate to find Hollinger, and he loves those corner shots. Buried 2 of them last night. Not here so far in Morton.
Gets over to Durbin, guarded by Singleton. 11-10 Railers. Now they'll get it down low to Brown. Brown backs his way on Hollinger, turns around, and good for Brown. Brown's got 6 points. Potters with the lead, 12-11, 6 minutes to go in the first half. Froby to Hollinger. Hollinger dribbles left, now to Singleton. Singleton gets to the lane, nothing there. Kicks it out to Ewald, now they'll swing it to the left. Now back to the right. 12-11 Potters. Tungate, Ewald. Now Hollinger. Tungate pulls up for a three. Got it.
Oh, big three by Tungate.
With a big three.
Maybe the first one of the season for Tungate from Chris Coyne, State Farmland. Big three-pointer by Tungate.
So Tungate taking advantage with Whiteman on the bench. Tungate's got 5 points. Railers up by 2.
16 fouls for the Railers. Scott, next we'll put the Potters in the bonus.
Jets has it. Now all the way across to Gudeman for a three. Got it. Potters looking around. And they answer with a three-pointer and go back up by 1. Railers with the basketball. Singleton kicks it out to Hollinger. Hollinger spins, nothing there. Now has to find somebody. Now he does. It's Tungate up. Hands a nice pass by Hollinger. Or I'm sorry.
Yeah, great
pass by Tungate.
Great pass by Tungate, and what a catch. I mean, that ball was a rifle coming right at Hollinger, and Hollinger got the big paws up there and caught it, but before that it was a foul on Getz. I think that's Getz's second team foul, so now Morton with 5 team fouls, getting close to the bonus as well.
Getz with 2.
My coach showing a lot of confidence in Whiteman. Normally he does not do this at all. With 2 fouls, you normally sit for the whole half, but Whiteman comes back in here with 2 fouls, gives Ewald a break.
Railers down by 1 with the basketball. 4:40 to go in the first half. There goes Froby. He dribbles by Gudeman, and Gudeman's going to foul him. And that's Gudeman's second foul, Josh.
Yeah, so the foul's mounting for the Potters as well as the Railers.
I'd like to see a lot more of that.
Oh, I think he can go right, and I think
from everyone.
Yeah, I think Froby can easily take Gudeman to the basket almost every time.
Froby makes his first free throw. Ties it up at 15. He'll get another one as Gudeman has a seat. Froby's second free throw up and good. 16-15 Railers, 4:37 to go in the first half.
A couple big stops here, Scott. Figure out how to defend that post, that screen, that bottom screen, and then the post by the big man underneath. Tip away.
Durbin got the tip back. Trap, now stolen away by Singleton. Tungate's there for the tie-up. And it's going to be a jump ball called as Morton coach tried to get a timeout in there. Was not granted.
Yeah, I don't think anybody had full control of it.
Possession arrow goes to the Potters. Railers up by 1, 4:21 to go in the first half. Steffen to Durbin, now to Brown. Back up top to Steffen. Steffen nowhere to go. Good defense by Singleton. Now he'll find Durbin. Now on the floor. Hollinger rips it out of there. And Coach Alexander's going to call a timeout as Hollinger got the ball but was on a knee and had nowhere to go. And the Railers are going to call a timeout. It's a 30-second timeout, Josh.
Been doing a good job, though. Hollinger getting a couple rebounds underneath. Very physical. A lot of reaching by Morton, especially after they rebounded. Morton got a jump ball. Looked like it was one of them was a foul, but they got the jump ball on that. But a lot of reaching. Hollinger doing a good job of keeping that ball active. One more thing he could do is taking maybe a dribble away from pressure and clear himself a little bit more. But Hollinger going to the ground and picking up a loose ball, kept it moving. Coach Alexander with a timeout. Railers take the lead here at 16-15. 4 minutes left. Both teams with 6 team fouls, so both team on the next foul will be in the bonus.
Railers up by 1 with the basketball. Tungate Now to Hollinger. Hollinger dribbles left now, back to his right. Froby for a deep three up
Short.
top. Left it short, air ball. Now the Potters have the basketball. Everdeen back to Durbin. Durbin goes left, guarded by Froby. Now Froby a back off as Potters will reset. Durbin to Steffen. Now bounce pass to Everdeen. To Richards. Back to Everdeen. On the wing. Now up top to Steffen.
Looking to get it into Brown. He's done a good job in there of scoring in the post.
Now Brown has it. Guarded by Whiteman. Whiteman's got to be careful. Froby tipped it out of bounds. Going to stay with the Potters.
Potter's doing a good job too. Just got to skip in the basketball against the 1-2-2. You'll see a skip from one side to the other, and you've got to sprint out and get on the shooters. I think Goodeman got a three from a skip from one side. So far the Morton offense has done a pretty good job here.
Tungate guards Durbin. Now they'll get it into Richards. Now Brown will dribble on Hollinger. Up and good for Brown. Brown's got 8. And the Potters get that 1-point lead back with 2:45 to go in the first half. Froby dribbles around Everdeen. Everdeen swats it out of bounds. Going to stay with the Railers. Froby to inbound. Gets it into Whiteman. Back to Froby. Froby in the corner to Hollinger for a three. Got it! Hollinger with a Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer. Railers up by 2.
Well, the Railers love to find Hollinger
now
in
a
that
trap.
corner.
Good defense by the Railers. Now Steffens gets it to Everdeen, who gets it over to Durbin. Railers up by 2. 2:20 to go in the first half.
Oh, foul, Dylan.
Everdeen guarded by Tungate. He'll spin back to the right. Now pull it back. Looking down low, nothing there.
Whiteman's
Steffens
still
to
in there
Durbin.
with 2 too, Scott.
Richards in the corner to Durbin for a three. Too long. Everdeen with the rebound. He'll get inside and throw it up, and there's a foul on Froby. That's his first. Everdeen at the line for 2. Misses the first. 17th foul for the Railers. 1:56 to go in the first half. Everdeen for his second free throw. It's up and good. 19-18. Railers, 1:55 to go in the first half with the basketball. Singleton, he'll trot it up. Now he'll go left, spin right, nothing there. Hands off to Tungate, now to Froby on the wing. Froby dribbles by Everdeen, up, no good, gets his own rebound, puts it back up, and can't get it either. Fought for underneath, and Richards comes out with it, kicks it to Everdeen. Everdeen pushes right. Now he'll be called for a charge as Hollinger's there. A little acting there by Hollinger.
Well, and I thought Everdeen did a good job of kind of getting to the side of Hollinger, and a lot of times you'll get that blocking call because of that, but those referees love to call that charge anymore. I think they get into it with their actions on how they call it, and that charge is called more times than not anymore. It never used to be like that. It was almost a block all the time.
Yeah. Railers with the basketball up by 1. 1:10 to go in the first half. Tungate dribbles left, now hands to Singleton, who gives it to Froby. Nothing there, kicks it out to Tungate. Now Whiteman in the corner to Singleton. Now they'll work it back to the left. Whiteman with the three up top. Off the rim, no good. Everdeen with the rebound for the Potters. Now Steffens, he pushes right. Cut off there by Whiteman and Froby. Tapped out of bounds off Whiteman.
Coach better get Whiteman out right now.
Yeah, with 50 seconds.
Yeah, there's no chance here. Maybe Ewald. Ewald have 2. He's been on the bench for a little while.
And they're going to bring Klopp in. The sophomore is going to get some time here in the first half.
Get a little size in there and rebounding with Klopp.
Potters get it in. They're down by 1. 45 seconds to go in the first half here in Potterdome.
Looks like Coach Frank is calling his Potter team to come out here to half court. At least okay with holding it for 1. I think the Railers will be too, Scott, with foul trouble from Whiteman.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Ewald, though. Does he have 2?
I think he's only got 1.
He's been on the bench for quite a while here.
So Potters will hold it for 1, and the Railers will go along with that as Railers have a 1-point lead.
Our statistician next to me, Coach Andy Fitz, says Ewald does have 2 fouls.
Okay. 8 seconds. Everding gets it into Brown. Tie up. Oh, a travel. Could have called a tie-up, but we'll take the travel with 3.5 seconds left in the first half. Railers will have the basketball up by 1. Ewald's going to check in for Tungate.
Looks like Morton will try to provide a little bit of pressure here.
They'll get it in. That's Froby down to 2. Froby up, and there's a foul on Richards, but no call, and that's going to do it for the first half. Froby got to the basket and just mugged, no call, and that's how the first half will end with the Railers 19, the Potters 18. We'll take a commercial break. We'll come back. We'll have the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic halftime show here on WLCN 96.3 FM.
Welcome back, Railer fans, here from Morton, Illinois. The Railers hold a 1-point advantage here at halftime by a score of 19-18. Go through the first half scoring. First for Morton. Morton was led in the first half by the senior Bryce Brown. Bryce Brown with 8. 3 for 3 guys here. Josiah Getz, Ollie Steffen, and Grant Gudeman, all with 3 points and 1 for Ashton Everdeen. The Railers were led in the first half from Caden Froby. Caden with 6, 5 apiece for Seth Tungate and Will Ewald, 3 for Landon Hollinger to round out the 19 for the Railers. We'll take a break here. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic halftime show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball. Railers with a slight advantage here in Morton. 19-18 over the Potters. Josh Comnick along with Scott Kirby and Lloyd Kirby. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic halftime show. Let's go over some of the stats. First for Morton, good shooting for them. 7 of 13 on the night for 54%. They were also 2 of 5 from 3. 2 of 4 from the free throw line. The Potters had 11 total rebounds, 2 of them offensive, 3 assists on 6 turnovers, and 3 blocked shots for the Potters. The Railers got 7 more shot attempts than Morton. They were 7 of 21 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. The Railers with 8 total rebounds, 4 of them offensive, 3 assists on 2 turnovers, 1 block, and 3 steals. Scoring by quarter went, the Potters were up after 1, 10-7. And the Railers now up here by a score of 19-18, Scott. And it's been, first quarter, Whiteman had to go out early with 2 fouls, and then they really pounded the ball down to Bryce Brown. Brown with 8 points for the Potters, and they're running that screen low underneath with a cutter to the sideline, to the baseline, and then once he screens, they roll open that screener, and they've been able to get it to Brown a few times, and 4 times for sure, and he's got 8 points tonight.
Yeah, and the Railers going to have to find an answer for that, because I'm sure they're going to go back to that the second half. And, the Railers kind of struggled the first half scoring. Had some good looks, but just couldn't get it to go. And we'll see what kind of halftime adjustments Coach Al made.
Yeah, really physical brand of defense by Morton. A lot of what Chatham had done to us on Tuesday night. And just hard to get by these guys. They've got their held up by hands and bodies, and the officials made some of them, but they didn't make all of them. And we thought Froby had a chance to get fouled there, last second shot. I thought there was, if he's not fouling, you tell the guy that was playing defense and that aggressive defense on a last second shot that you shouldn't be doing that. You should get a foul for being not smart.
Yeah, let's take another quick 30-second timeout. We come back, we'll have second half action here on WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to the Potter Dome as we get set for second half action here in Morton, Illinois. Railers with a 19-18 advantage, and we'll have the basketball to start the second half.
Yeah, Railers will go now with their starting 5.
Railers will work it around. Singleton, now Whiteman. Up top to Ewald, over to Froby. Now Singleton has it to Hollinger. Kicks to Froby. Now Singleton. 2 Potters ran to each other, and Singleton took advantage of it and got the little jumper to go.
Yeah,
now with a 3-point lead.
Basket there by Dillon. A little pull up from about 6 feet or so. And Dillon went, oh my gosh.
And Ewald just picked up his 3rd. And I thought that was good defense. I mean,
it's not been called all night.
You're not going to call what happened at the end of the first half.
It's not been
call that
consistent with the way Morton will hold and grab, and when you try to go down the lane.
Railers up by 3. There's the alley-oop to Getz, and it's going to be I'm going to say it's off the Railers. I don't think Hollinger touched it.
Looked like Whiteman went up and tried to tap it away and did tap it away, but I thought it might have went off Getz after he tapped it away.
Well, anyway, the Potters are going to maintain possession, down by 3. Steffens with it, now over to Durbin. Yep. Over to Goodman in the corner. Now they'll work it back left. Looking for Brown. Now Goodman with it. He'll dribble back up.
Will's got to be careful over there. He's got 3 fouls and could have picked up another one there.
Now Goodman on the wing, guarded by Ewald, like Josh mentioned, has 3. Now Singleton up top, guarding Steffens. Over to Durbin. Morton being real patient right now. Steffens over to Durbin. Now trying to get it into Getz, as Getz just tried to back Whiteman all the way out of there. Now Whiteman with the steal, gets it up to Froby, a little too long. Durbin tracks it down.
Yeah, Cam's got to be careful too.
There's a 3 by Durbin, and I'm going to call a foul on
Whiteman, it looks like.
That's his 3rd, if that's true. Yeah. Whiteman just picked up his 3rd. And Ewald's going to check out.
So Whiteman with 3 now, Ewald with 3.
Well, Ewald's got 2. Does Ewald have 3?
Ewald picked up that one over there.
Goodman with the 3, no good. Rebound Hollinger, so the Railers in a little bit of foul trouble right now, Josh.
And that's been one of our worries, I think, for the season, is a bunch of guys getting in trouble.
Roby pulls up for a jumper.
Nice,
got it
soft
to go.
touch there, yeah.
And if they can get through the 3rd quarter, Josh, with maintaining these fouls, it's going to put us in a little better shape, but
yeah, you're
still
right.
concerned without a deep bench.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big shot there by Froby, because now it makes Goodman get up on him a little bit closer. It's not just a drive or a 3 when you can hit that 15-footer.
And Brown gets it in, as Whiteman had to be a little cautious. Doesn't want to pick up his 4th. 23-20. There's a 3 on the way by Singleton. Nothing but net, and it's a Chris Coyne State Farm 3-pointer.
Yeah, Dillon's going to have to hit a few more of those, I think. They've got his man laying off him a little bit. Nice job by Singleton, stepping right into that 3 at the top of the key.
Railers up by 6. Court pass by the Potters. Gets over to Steffens. Now to Durbin. Durbin with a deep 3. Got it. Durbin hits a deep 3 to pull the Potters within 3. 30-second timeout called. We'll keep it right here. Headline Salon. Visit Brett, Liz, Danielle, and Shay at 602 Keokuk in Lincoln. Phone 651-8310 with walk-ins local. State Bank of Lincoln, serving the area for over 113 years with 4 locations in Lincoln and 2 in Clinton. Family Custom Cleaners, tanning, 24-hour laundromat, and U-Haul dealer located at 621 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Watch for dry cleaning and super tanning specials. Josh, the Raiders able to hit some big shots, but Morton come right back and answer.
Yeah, good basketball game so far.
Raiders not able to pull away, up by 3, 4:45 to go in the 3rd. Whiteman for a 3, off the rim, no good. Rebound, Brown for the Potters. Now Steffens, he'll get across the timeline. Pushed by Singleton. Singleton picks up his 1st. Team 3rd. Potters with the basketball, down by 3. Brown in on Hollinger, up off the backboard, and good for Brown. And the lead is down to 1. Tungate to Whiteman. Roby almost had a lane. Now Potters cut it off. Raiders work it around. Singleton takes a 3. Now they'll work it to the left, back to the right. Roby pulls it back out. Raiders with the 1-point advantage. Hollinger with it up top to Tungate. Whiteman up and good.
Oh, nice basket there, too, by Whiteman. Had to finish with the left and took some contact. And right now, Coach Al's not getting the bump calls that we've been called on this end, and he's giving the official a little bit of an earful right now.
Getz has it in the corner, all the way across, tapped out of there. Tracked down by Froby. Froby splits the defense, kicks it over the corner, Tungate, and they're going to get a block on Gundeman as Froby drove the lane, kicked it out, and Gundeman picked up the foul. That's his third. 28-25 Railers, 3:21 to go in the third. Gundeman, have a seat. Froby to inbound, gets it into Whiteman. Whiteman fakes it back to Froby, up off the backboard, and good. A crafty move by Whiteman as he faked it to Froby, spun around, laid it up and good.
Well, they've ran that play a couple times on earlier in the first half, Scott, where they did hand off to Froby. That time, Whiteman's defender thought he was going to do it again.
Getz nails the three in the corner. 30-28 Railers, 3 minutes to go in the third. Froby with it, guarded by Everdeen, gets it to Tungate. Tungate gets it to Singleton, tapped out of bounds off of Brown.
Brown has been real aggressive on that pass up to the top where his man is. He's almost gotten a few of those. I think he got a foul early in the first half on almost getting one of those steals, and that time tipped it away, but tipped it out of bounds.
2:40 to go in the third. Railers up by 2. Froby with the basketball, and out of Hollinger. Back to Froby on the wing. Tungate to Froby. Froby goes left, finds a lane, up strong with the left, and good for Froby.
Froby getting right to that middle with the left hand over the front of the rim, and good drive by the senior.
Everdeen gets it across the timeline. Railers up by 4. 2:15 to go in the third. Durbin in the corner, gets it to Richards, who taps it to it's tapped out of there. Now back down to Richards. Froby grabs the rebound, or the steal, I guess. Now it goes left. Now it's tapped out of there by Getz. Railers reset. Whiteman all the way across. There's Froby for a deep three. Got it.
Big three.
Froby with the Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer. Nothing but net. Railers with a 7-point lead, their biggest lead of the night. And Froby picks up a silly foul.
Yeah. Fourteen fouls on the Railers, just one on the Potters here so far. Minute 40 left here, Railers up 35-28. Good high school basketball game going on here for Morton.
Steal by Froby. 2-on-1, and Durbin reached in on Froby. Durbin will pick up the foul. That's his second, team's second.
Fourth foul, number 3, Joe Durbin is his second, team's.
So the Railers picking up their intensity a little bit on defense, Josh, and it's turned into some points.
Absolutely. Might try this play back here again. No, we're just going to get it in and run sort of a play here.
Whiteman for a three up top. Got it. Cam with a three. It's a Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer. Railers up 10. And timeout on the court. It's a 30-second timeout as the Potters find themselves down by 10.
Well, we'll see. As you talked about earlier, Scott, every time the Railers have hit a big shot, Morton has been able to answer. Here lately, they haven't, but this will be a big possession for them, Scott. I think if the Railers can stop them here with a minute 14 left, you probably get it back with a minute, maybe a little bit under. Can the Railers hold it that long for one? Because here's a stop. Not sure. It looks like it's Potters basketball coming out of the between the third and fourth quarter, but big stop to keep this momentum going here.
Potters basketball after the timeout. Minute 14 to go in the third. Steffens with it up top, guarded by Tungate. He'll go left, give it to Everdeen. Now back to Steffens.
Boy, look at try to go back to Brown. He's been unstoppable underneath.
Gets down to Everdeen. Swatted out of there by Klopp, who's checked into the game. And Everdeen is fouled by Klopp. He'll go to the line, shoot 2. Railers up by 10. 1 minute to go in the third period.
Yeah, the home scoreboard doesn't even have Getz or Brown that's in the game right now.
Free throw from Aberdeen is up and good.
Whiteman will check in for Klopp. Klopp with a give Cam a couple minute break, or at least a 30-second break, while he can play defense and not pick up another foul.
Aberdeen makes both free throws, 38-30. 1 minute to go in the third.
Looks like coach is content maybe to tell Dylan just to hold it out here, but nope, we're going to go for it, I think.
Keep the pedal to the metal. Tungate over to Froby. Froby guarded by Steffens, hands off to Singleton. 38 on the clock. Raiders working it around, up by 8. And looks like they will hold for 1.
Yeah, down to 20 now. Coach will call his signal on his play, and Raiders have a chance here to go in double-digit lead going into the fourth.
There's a steal. Bad pass by Singleton. Steffens up. No good. Tungate got hit in the face. Holger with the rebound. And that's going to do it for the third period, as the Railers couldn't hold for 1, and the score after 3 is the Railers 38, the Potters 30. We'll be back after these messages. This is Lincoln Raider Basketball, WLCN 96.3 FM. Fourth quarter is underway here at the Potter Dome, and we got a good one. 38-30, Railers with the lead. Potters with the basketball. Now they get down low to Brown, guarded by Hollinger, and Brown with another strong move.
Yeah, just right off the glass from about 4 feet away. He's got 12 or 14 now. 14 for Brown, and I don't know why they basically quit going to him in the third quarter.
Lead cut down to 6. Big possession here for the Railers. They'll work it around. And we're going to get
White,
Getz.
11, Getz.
Getz picked up his third.
Third team foul just on Morton.
Roby to inbound. He'll get it into Singleton. Raiders up by 6 with the basketball. The Raiders will get a break tomorrow.
Looks like Morton might have went to a zone here.
3 on the way from Hollinger. Got it! Landon hits another big 3. And it's a Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer. And he comes up big in big-time spots.
Yeah, he's hit some big baskets this year. Had some big free throws over in Chatham as well.
We talk about he's quiet. He doesn't take a lot of shots, but when he does, they seem to be at an important time. And
been able to get him to go
high
too.
Percentage shot for Landon.
He's made them.
Railers back up by 9.
Well, they got to get 11 for Getz for a moving screen at some point tonight. He's moving all over the place, body enough.
Steal by Froby. Railers up 9 with the basketball.
Yeah, I got to watch Brown. Brown's guarding Singleton, and he's really, really moving out on that pass up to Singleton. He's going to try and steal one of those.
Spin by Froby, little backdoor to Singleton, up off the backboard and good. 11-point lead for the Railers. 6:05 to go in the game. Everding gets it over the timeline in a hurry. Ewald back into the basketball game. Durbin with it up top. Now over to Everding.
Got to get on Brown.
Gundeman kicks it out to Durbin. Almost
Singleton just about had that.
Now Brown has it. He backs his way into Whiteman, and Whiteman picks up his fourth. If Whiteman would have held his ground and not reach in, he would have been okay, but I think the reach got him. So Brown to the line, shooting 2, makes the first.
Brown with a nice night here, 15 for the senior, and it's been really that just post presence, and he's been able to get some shots, uses the bankboard well, uses his body well. Goes 6'5", they've got him listed here in the program. Definitely the highest score by far for a Potter.
Makes second one. Raiders up 9, 5:40 to go in the ball game. Singleton walks it across. He'll get across the timeline and stop. Now he'll go left, and Brown has to foul him.
Yeah.
As Singleton had a lane.
You might see that the rest of the game, Scott, because I don't think it's hard to guard this Railer team. There's so many defenders or so many ball handlers that you've got to guard out on the perimeter, and then you find even bring out Hollinger out there and he can go by him. So you may see a 4-spread, 5-spread offense for the Railers here for the rest of the game.
Raiders up by 9 with the basketball. 5:20 to go. Singleton guarded by Getz. Getz a foul.
Yeah.
And Getz just picked up his 4th. Everding's going to check in for Getz.
5 on the Potters now, so the Railers still 2 fouls yet to try and draw before a foul.
Singleton up off the backboard and good. One-handed layup for Singleton as he found a lane.
Yeah, right now Coach has got a good point of view where I don't think anybody, or he doesn't think anybody can guard Singleton, and neither does Dylan. Dylan right to the basket 3 times in a row, 2 fouls and now a layup.
Singleton's got 9 points. Raiders up 11. 4:54 to go. Gundeman gets it down low to Brown. Nice defense by the Raiders.
Yeah, good help by
now
Froby.
Durbin for a 3.
Partially blocked.
Froby goes up and gets the rebound. He'll be fouled by Everding. That's the 5th team foul.
Should be 6 now, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Got a hoop right in our way to the foul.
It was cutting off the part to the 6. 16 fouls for the Raiders. They'll be a bonus to finish out the 4th. Raiders up by 11 with the basketball.
Yeah, clear out and let Dylan go against Aberdeen here. Everdeen, I should say.
Close enough. Hollinger dribbles in, kicks it over in the corner. Now the Raiders will reset. Now Froby gets to the lane, lays up a left-handed jumper. Got it to go.
Shooter's touch.
Froby with the deuce. Raiders up 13. And another foul away from the basket, Josh.
Yeah, a long way away, too.
Yeah, I mean, just getting across the half-court line, and Potters are in bonus, and we don't want them scoring points when the clock stopped. So Stephan to the line, makes his first. Number 55.
First minutes for him.
And who's number 55? Yeah.
Not quite on. Didn't make the roster tonight.
We are 0 for 18.
That's a foul.
With the rebound.
He came in and didn't do a whole lot there except foul.
55 with the foul.
I think he was on the sophomore. I remember seeing him from the sophomore.
Maybe Mac Anderson? We'll say it's Mac Anderson because he's on the sophomore and the varsity and number 50. So Froby to the line. Railers in bonus. 47-35. 4:19 to go in the game. Free throw up and good for Froby.
Yeah. Feathery touch from the lefty. Give Frobe 16 on the night.
Second free throw up and good.
Two for two for Frobe. Increases the lead 49-35 here. 4:15 left in the game.
Raiders still keeping up their pressure. There's another steal
right
by
to him.
Frobe.
Frobe's going to score this layup.
To the lane, up, and good. Frobe's got 19 points.
And about 4 or 5 steals tonight. They're throwing it right into his hands.
And a 16-point lead as Everdeen gets to the basket. He'll be fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. As they're going to call it on number 4, Hollinger, his second.
A lot of time left here, though, Scott. 3:56, things can happen with that three-point line, so Raylor's got to continue to put on the pressure. Everdeen, first free throw up. Whiteman checks in now for Tungate. Nice minutes all night by Tungate. Maybe his best performance of the season. Free throw up and good. Make it a score of 51-37. Singleton will walk it up here against Gudeman. Like the Railers.
Contact there, no call.
Railers will go.
Now Frobe has a lane. Nothing there. Kicks it to Singleton. Now back out top to Ewald. Railers up by 14. Frobe to the lane, up with the left and good. Now a 16-point lead for the Railers. 3:25 to go in the ball game. Durbin up top. Durbin, only a sophomore. Over to Steffen, back to Durbin for a deep
one
three.
From there earlier.
Left it to the left. Everdeen with the rebound and the putback, and the Potters need a timeout.
Raylor's got a rebound, giving up a couple offensive rebounds in the last couple possessions here. Full timeout, Morton.
Full timeout, we'll take one as well. This is Lincoln Raider Basketball, WLCN 96.3 FM. Score here in Potterdome. Railers with the lead, 3:06 to go in the ball game. Railers basketball.
Probably see a lot of the same, Scott, as we've done in the past couple possessions. Get the ball to Frobe and Singleton and maybe Ewald and let them do work and go to the basket.
Singleton with some nifty ball handling there. As the Raiders get it across the timeline, Frobe with it. Now the Raiders look to run some clock. Singleton. Now to Frobe up top, guarded by Anderson. To Whiteman.
Yeah, you might see free throws or layups, and that's it so far for the rest of the night for the Railers.
Dishes it off to Hollinger, up and good. Good
Nice
pass from Frobe.
Yeah, they all converged on, actually 2 of them converged, his man and Hollinger's man, and Senior did exactly what you're supposed to, drop it off to the cutting. Give credit to Hollinger, not standing out on the three-point line either. He dove to the basket. Frobe gave him a perfect pass.
Easy bucket for Hollinger. He's got 8.
Steal.
Now steal by Ewald. He's got a layup. Up and good. 57-39. 18-point lead just like that.
Good job by Ewald of moving his feet and really cutting off.
Out of bounds. Off from Steffen as Hollinger cuts off the baseline. Steffen loses control. Railer basketball up by 18. 2 minutes to go.
Coach Andy Fitz just gave me the shot diagram of the fourth quarter, and about 7 or 8 of them were inside right next to the hoop, and one was a three-pointer by Hollinger, I believe, from the corner.
Frobe. And they're going to call a foul on Steffen. That is his first. So Frobe's going to go to the line. Railers in the bonus.
Roby with 21 on the night. Hollinger with 8. Singleton with 9. Ewald with 7. And Whiteman with 7.
Roby makes the first, so he'll get the bonus.
Well, Scott, it was close for a while. Really through three quarters. Yeah, it was a heck of a game going on. The Railers really pulled away, and you just see how hard it is to guard these guys. They can shoot the three, but it's tough for a 5-on-5 to guard these guys. So many of them can get to the basket, and Coach Alexander basically went to that in the fourth quarter. You saw Singleton and Froby, Hollinger getting to the rim, and that's all we needed.
Everdeen up. That's a charge right there as Hollinger takes another charge as Everdeen tries to get to the basket. But Hollinger there to greet him. Everdeen picks up his third.
We've had some guys that have done that in the past. You know, Bowlby, if you think back, Bowlby was a big one that had done that.
Yeah. Gavin Block
was always there willing to take the charge, and this year's man is normally Hollinger in there.
Froby now to Ewald. 1:30 to go in the ball game. It's Railers up by 20. I can't say it's been all Railers because it hasn't. It's been a close one up until, I'd say, the fourth. There's no foul called. Potters, there's Stephan with the three. Airballed it. Rebounded by Goodman. Whiteman with the rebound. And Froby will slow it down. Up by 20. 1 minute to go.
Yeah, the coach will go back to the 5 out, and Railers will ice this thing away. 20-point lead here with 50 seconds left to go.
So the Railers will finish the week strong as they played 5 games in a week.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Finished the week 4-1 with an overtime loss at Rock Island. So another big week for the Railers.
Some much needed rest tomorrow as no game.
Us too.
Yeah. Although I'll have another game. The Beavers play tomorrow up here in Eureka. So had a game every day this week. And I need a break.
What keeps you young, buddy.
Singleton to the line. Railers up by 20. 19 seconds on the clock. Misses his first. And a whole slug of Potters check in.
Singleton up. Makes the second one. Dylan gets into double figures with 10 now on the night.
Time running down here in the Potter Dome, and the Railers going to pick up another dub. Out of bounds off the Potters.
Inbounded, and that should do it
Railers
for the
basketball to finish out the week. And that will put the Railers at 18-2. Your final, the Railers 60, the Potters 39. We'll take a commercial break. We come back, we'll have the Drow Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic post-game show here on WLCN 96.3 FM.
here on Friday night, 60-39 over the Potters from Morton. Railers improved to 18-2 on the season. Go through the scoring. The Potters were led tonight by Bryce Brown. Brown with 16, 7 for Ashton Everdeen, 6 points for Josiah Getz, 4 points for Ollie Steffen, 3 apiece for Grant Gudeman and Bo Durbin for the Potters from Morton. Morton falls to 12-10 on the season. The Railers were led tonight. A couple guys in double figures, but Froby was the leader. 23 points for the senior. Froby shot 8 of 14 from the field. He also had 3 total rebounds to go along with 4 assists and 5 steals. Great court night for Froby. 10 points for Dylan Singleton to go along with also 4 assists. 8 points for Landon Hullinger. 7 apiece for Cameron Whiteman and Will Ewald, and 5 for Seth Tungate, who logged probably the most minutes he has all year. Seth playing 20 minutes in the game tonight. A lot of foul trouble for Whiteman and Ewald as well. Again, the Railers victorious 60-39. We'll send it back to the studios. Be back here with some of the stats here from Morton High School. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic postgame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Welcome back to the Potterdome. Their final score, the Lincoln Railers 60, the Morton Potters 39. And with us now, Coach Neil Alexander. Coach, another solid opponent and another good win for the Railers. A good basketball game for 3 quarters, and the Railers just proved too strong and able to pull away there at the end.
Well, you know, our defense kind of wore on them, I think, and, you know, we got to where we could force, and we got a little bit of a lead, and, you know, we kind of spread the floor, and we've got pretty good guards that can handle the ball, get to the basket, and, you know, we made all but one shot in the second half, and that's pretty darn good.
If you lose that game out of shooting 16 for 17, then that's coaching, I would say.
I would say so.
Coach, you talked about wearing them down. I think they got tired. I don't think their movement was near as good. They weren't attacking the middle like they wanted to or had success doing, and our guys just kept going. As you said, Singleton and Froby got out front, and then they just couldn't guard them.
Well, and once we got out front, it was just one-on-one, and, you know, the last, 4 minutes we went white, and which is our spread offense, and there were very few passes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
maybe just one to Hollinger to score it off from Froby. Nice pass from Froby.
We had a couple kicks to the corner, and they reversed it back out and attacked and things. So, you know, it was the second half was much better, you know. We got into foul trouble. We played through that the first half, which isn't a bad thing for us to be able to do those things, to be able to work on making adjustments and, you know, having different rotations and things. So we managed to survive. So
well, credit Tungate.
Yeah,
probably
Tungate
the most money. I'd say he's had 20, almost 21 minutes tonight for Tungate. Maybe his first three-pointer for the year. Also, some great defense. Handled the ball, didn't make mistakes. Exactly what you want to do with a guy coming off the bench. And as you said, it was kind of maybe not your fear, but a little bit of a fear for us all year of foul trouble, and we've really done a good job of playing without it. And tonight, aggressive defense by Morton might have got into the skin a little of our guys, had some maybe uncharacteristic fouls that we don't normally make, and that happens, but your guys filled in nicely. Klopp filled in when needed, and those things happen.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is we got to learn how to play when we got 2 fouls, and it was just like start of the second half. Will rode that guy. He's got 2 fouls, and he rolled the guy all the way down the sideline. I saw that one coming. Yeah. And he just kept riding him instead of getting off and getting around and getting in front. You have to play a little bit different. It doesn't mean you don't play hard and you don't play a good, solid defense, but you have to be able to make adjustments to where you don't give the official the opportunity to make that call.
A lot of silly fouls 30, 40 feet from the basket.
Yeah.
That was aggressive.
When they're calling it like that, you know, and not being deep on the bench, they've got to play a little smarter, but still you want that aggressiveness.
Well, you know, for most part, when you get into foul trouble, it's basically because you're standing upright, and at the last minute you try to make a move to get in position, or you're not getting to where you're supposed to be. And, you know, our guys, you know, our backs especially didn't get across the floor, and they created a lot of issues for us. So, you know, that's one area we have to work on to get better.
I thought Hollinger, he seems to be quiet the whole game, and when you need a big bucket, and he seems to be there, and a high percentage shot when you guys are looking for a big bucket. Either it's a 3 or, you know, something to the basket. But
free throws in Chatham.
Yeah, Hollinger seems to step up when they need him, and, you know, it's kind of been a boost.
Yeah, you know, he's played really well and solid, and you know,
he played well with 2 fouls for a while. That's straight up defense.
I thought one call down here, he got a charging call, but I thought that was a block where he got hit and he ended up when you get hit, spun around and land on your face, you're not in very good position. I've always considered it on a charge, if you don't land on your backside, you probably didn't have very good position.
Well, me and Josh talked about it during the game. Back in the day, there weren't, you know, they didn't like to call that charge. It was always a block. It was always, they were calling a block before it even happened. But it seems that these days they're emphasizing the charge a little bit more.
Now, Coach, we've talked about it earlier. Scott made a point of basically 5 games this week, starting last Friday to this Friday, and 4-1 with an overtime loss at Rock Island. Obviously, one you'd like to have back, but pretty good stretch for the Railers.
Well, it's 3-1. We had one of them canceled. So.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Where you been?
Oh, we didn't play Friday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we didn't play.
Well, we counted that up.
That's a win.
Well, it got moved to where we're going to end up playing about the same thing later in the middle of February. But you ask any player, they'd rather play the games than go to practice every night. So it's not an all bad thing. The only issue is one night we go to Effingham and drive back home and turn around next day and go back to Charleston. So that's the only tough thing about it.
Our equipment manager was real happy about that.
Well, Coach, congrats on the win.
Maybe your equipment man would just stay down there.
Well, I thought that's what. Yeah, so we'll have to make that happen.
Charge a company.
That's right.
Well, we could do the cheap seats down there too.
Right.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Joe Ryan.
We're going to the next level. Well, Coach, what are you going to do with yourself tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure out something. I'll probably have to find a game to go watch.
Illinois is on. You have to drive to Ann Arbor.
Well, we thought about it, but the weather hadn't been all that great. Yeah. So if we went, we'd have to go when we got home tonight. And, I don't know what kind of weather we could have got into. So.
Yeah. Well, Coach, get the kids home, get them some rest, and, well, it's going to be a while for the Railers are on the court again.
Yeah.
It's Mahomet Seymour.
Well, next week's a big week for us, so hopefully everybody, we got some people, I think, coming back. I think Dan Duff's coming back next Saturday, and,
heard a rumor Kevin Seitzer is going to make his way back.
I've heard that, so it's going to be a lot of people around, and hopefully a lot of people come out and visit with all of them, and and have a good time. We've got Nokomis coming, and there's just a lot of ties to next Saturday's game. And Coach Kimbrough, this is his last year. He's announced that he's retiring, and we're going to have some fun. Hopefully, we'll play well and stay focused on the game and do the things that we need to do. But hopefully everyone will come out next. Both games are at home. I think the next two weekends.
5 in a row, I believe. 4 in a row.
Yeah, the next two weekends, both of them are.
I can make those, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Are all at home. So, we just have to take them one at a time.
Keep plugging away, Coach. Well, congratulations. Have safe travels home, and we'll see you down the road.
Okay, thank you.
That'll do it for us here in Morton. Our next broadcast will be January 31st, next Friday at 7:30, as the Railers are at home to take on the Bulldogs from Mahomet Seymour. Our broadcast will begin with pregame show starting at 7 o'clock. For station manager Jim Ash, studio producer, director Paula Kodat, Lloyd Kirby, Josh Komnick, this is Scott Kirby. Once again, the final score, Lincoln 60, Morton 39. The Railers now stand at 18-2. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and would like to thank our listeners for listening and our sponsors for sponsoring. This has been a production of WLCN Sports 96.3 FM. We ask you to patronize our sponsors and say thank you for allowing us to bring you Lincoln Railer basketball. From Morton, Illinois, good evening, everyone. It's time to send you back to the studio for the Classic Rock Experience, starring Jeff Number 2 on the Nighttime Fix 96.